One. We back at it. This gonna be my game 2 instant reaction and my instant thoughts. And really, I just got 3 topics and 3 main points that I want to go over this game because OKC they end up taking game 2, in dominant fashion on their home court after a tough loss in game 1 on their home floor. So they end up even up the series with game 3 head to the Indiana Pacers home court. Before I get into that, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. We is on the road to 400 subs, so I will gladly appreciate if y'all hit that subscribe button for me. Without further ado, let's go and get into these 3 points that I want to talk about because I feel like these was the most important 3 points of this ball game and why OKC won this game today and why they was able to bounce back. Because if y'all watch my game 1 instant reaction, my instant thoughts and my opinions on how that game went in game 1 and how I felt like the game kind of unraveled in front of OKC down the stretch and things like that. The first point was that double big lineup. I said at the game 1, I said, I understand the ability. I understand that Mark Daigneault choice of not starting both Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren because you want to have a little bit more speed on the perimeter to go up to match up with the Pacers pace and the up and down tempo that the Indiana Pacers like to play with, things like that. So you want to have enough guys, enough speed on the perimeter to be able to handle the perimeter and keep guys out of the lane where they just not putting pressure and miss pressure on the rim and getting 2 feet in the lane where they can just get easy driving kick or easy points into the lane. Last game I said they need to look into Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren because I think with that lineup in there with them two together, it's gonna it's gonna cause problems for Indiana Pacers. With Myles Turner playing, primarily the most of the center, the 5 minutes for the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, like I said, Thomas Bryant, he come in and plays little spot minutes, things like that. But Myles Turner is primarily the dominant 5. He's the mostly going to be playing the 5 minutes. He's going to be the loner big out there in most cases for the Indiana Pacers in most lineups. So with that being said, having Isaiah Hartenstein along with Chet Holmgren, adding the extra footer on the inside in the interior, you kind of clean up some of the second chance points. You can clean up the rebounds. You can create opportunities on the offensive end to get all offensive rebounds and second chance points for your team, in which they did that today. In game 1 they got beat up on the glass 56-39. That's really where that was a room to improve for the OKC Thunder. When you look at it today, let's look at it. I want to look at the rebound disparity today between the two teams, and I want to let y'all know the difference. You look at it, the total rebounds, 43 for the OKC Thunder, 35 total rebounds for the Indiana Pacers. So the OKC Thunder, they responded with getting destroyed on the glass last game by finally having Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein minutes out there. So that's where they kind of won that battle right there. I feel like that was you had to look into that. Mark Daigneault, I just feel like he kind of got away from what worked for him throughout this whole playoff run, what worked for him throughout this whole season. Obviously that's what you guys at Hartenstein, where y'all can run different type of lineups. You add that versatility, where you can go a single big lineup, things like that, and we're checking, he can be that space out, play 5 out, things like that. When he's out the floor, he's in foul trouble. You guys, somebody like Isaiah Hartenstein who come in, no type of production is it ain't gonna be no slippage in production. He can come in and give you those type of that passing ability. Give you that offensive rebounding, give you those second chance rebounders. He can be a force on the inside and the interior as well, being a deter shots away from the basket, things like that. But with them two together, we've seen throughout this whole postseason how dominant those two can be on the same floor playing together. And we seen it tonight. And that's why I said I was kind of shocked that they didn't play a single second on the floor in game 1 together. But in game 2, like I said, if you want to be able to make the Pacers adjustment and you want to cause some problems, obviously you want to be able to slow the game up and muck the game up and be a bigger team. Because the Indiana Pacers, they really not gonna have no answer for Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren lineup. because he's too big, too physical. With Miles Turner be out there being the lone 5 on the court for the Indiana Pacers, also, Pascal Siakam, he out there as well. But when you look at it, Siakam is 6'8", 6'9". Chet Holmgren is a legit 7 foot. Isaiah Hartenstein a legit 6'10", 6'11", big, physical, can rebound, things like that. He most of his attributes and most of his things that he brings on for the OKC Thunder, is his offensive rebound, his ability to create second chance points, his ability to be able to play making, on the perimeter, and thread the needle through passes and things like that. So I think that's the first point that I wanted to get out the way that I seen today, which was the reason why the OKC Thunder was able to run away with this game today in the type of fashion that they did, because you shored up the inside and you shored up opportunities and second chance points. You're able to keep the Indiana Pacers off the glass and limit their second chance points and things like that. That was number one. Number two is to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because like I said, 30 shot attempts in game one. You get 38 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in game one, but on 30 shot attempts. I kept telling everybody, 38 points, that's cool. If any star player, I don't care who you is, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, if you can get 38 points on 30 shot attempts, we living with that. Because when you look at it, nobody on their team in a 48-minute stretch, they didn't play 11, 12 guys in game one. 2 of the 11, 12 guys only had more than double-digit shot attempts, and that was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and that was Jalen Williams. One enough mouths to feed out there. So you look at a game like tonight, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in game one, he only had 3 assists. He had 30 shot attempts. You look at tonight, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's see. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had 20. He was 11 from 21, 52% from the field. But when you look at everybody else, Chet Holmgren, he had 11 shot attempts. He was in double shot attempts. Jalen Williams, double shot attempts. Alex Caruso, 11 field goals. Aaron Wiggins, 11 field goals. So compared to what you did last game and this game, you was able to Shai became, he dictated the flow. He made sure everybody else got involved, and he picked his spots today. He did a good job of picking his spots, when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive. When the defense collapsed on him, he made the right play every time. He controlled the game. He controlled the pace. He was a little bit sloppy in this game, but for the most part, he did a good job of knowing when to be aggressive, and when to kind of take a step back and let other guys eat and let other guys cook. Because you got to understand, 38 points on 30 shot attempts is, any team is living with that. From a type of scorer that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is, if how efficient that he is from the field and things like that, and how he plays, if we can beat him to get 30 shot attempts on 38 points, we're living with that. But today, he understood the assignment. He understood that he know that he can get hit 30 points, but he can do it in a different way. He got it on 21 field goal attempts. He had 34 points tonight. He got to the free throw line today. He got 8 assists. He made sure everybody else got involved. Can you look at it? Jalen Williams wasn't efficient from the field in game one, because like I said, Jalen Williams, he's the type of player he like that power the ball in his hands too, to be able to get cooking. You look at Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren had 6 points in game one. He followed up in game two with 15 points. Jalen Williams had 19 points in game one, but in this game, in game one, but he was inefficient from the field, only making 4 or 5 field goals. But you look at tonight, he had 19 points again. He was a little bit still kind of inefficient. He shot 36% from the field. But you look at everybody else. You get 18 points from Aaron Wiggins. You get 20 points off the bench from Caruso. Efficient from the field. And that is the main difference from game one and game two, is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he was able to take over, know when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive, and he understood that the game won't call for different things. I just think, like I said, after game one, I just felt like he was pressing a little bit too much. His foot was on the gas from the opening tip, starting out the game with 14 field goal attempts, kind of take away shots from his other teammates. But today, he understood, whenever 2 came to the ball, the defense is going to collapse on him, because that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That is the MVP. He's a walking 30. He's hard to defend in the one-on-one situation. So the help's going to be coming. He understood that, and he made the right play every time. He got Chet open looks after time and time, and that was gave the opportunity, the green light for Chet to have, the type of offense and output that he had today. You know, he wasn't just getting shots and creating shots on his own. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was creating shots for his teammates tonight. What I didn't see from him in game one. That was the second thing. Like I said, game one, the two of the three things that I want to talk about. Like I said, the first thing was the double big lineup between Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, with the type of problem that they're going to cause for the Indiana Pacers with them being a smaller team, with just Myles Turner playing the primarily most of the 5 minutes. You know, obviously they rotate between Thomas Bryant, Obi Toppin, and things like that. But when you take Myles Turner off the court and he's not in the game, and you have Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein sharing the floor together, the Indiana Pacers not gonna have they're not gonna have no answer for it. You know, that's one thing. That's a check. They check that box. Number two thing, Shai. He got to be more efficient. He got to be able to get his teammates involved. That's what he did today. Check. Third thing that I want to talk about before I end this video and before I can, conclude this video and wrap this video up is that Tyrese Haliburton has to be more aggressive. Now I understand they took game one. They came they left with what they came here for. You know, when that just is still a game. Everybody was doubting them, thinking they were gonna get swept and things like that. They came here what they were supposed to do. They took a game from the OKC Thunder on their home court. Now they got to go home and be able to defend their home court. So they did what they were supposed to do is win a game. Now game two, if Indiana Pacers fan, Indiana players and things like that, coaching staff, I'm telling my guys same thing. Hey, we stole game one. We got out of here with a win. We came here what we got here for. You know, we're trying to be greedy and try to take two of them. But the percentages of that, with them being them being so highly favored and things like that, that's unlikely to happen. So the thing is, we take this 1-1. Now we're going back to the drawing board. And the number one thing, if I'm Rick Carlisle, I got to tell my star player, my franchise player, the head of the snake, Tyrese Haliburton, we're going to need you to be aggressive from the very start of the game. We're not going to need those 12 points in the fourth quarter when the game is already out of reach. I don't care about those points. We need you to be aggressive from the opening tilt, because that's going to cause other problems and they're going to cause mismatches for everybody else. Now you're going to create opportunities and open shots for the Pascal Siakams, for the Aaron Nesmiths, for the Myles Turners, for the Obi Toppins, and everybody else on the floor. You're going to be able to get those guys going easier if you're looking for your own shot. I think it was 2, 3, 4 times today in this ball game where you got into the middle of the lane, you had an open floater, and you kicked it out for a 3-point shot, and y'all left that possession with 0 points. Those are the type of shots that I want to see you taking in game 3 and game 4. If you want to be able to have a chance to be able to really win this series, we're going to need you to leave your imprint on this series. Now we're looking at it outside of that game-winning shot in game 1. Game 1 and game 2, Tyrese Haliburton has not played up to standard. He has not played up to superstar standard. He has not played up to the level of consistency that we've been looking for him. And I understand, like I said, that's the only thing about Tyrese Haliburton that I can really throw smut on his name. When it come down to these playoffs, yes, he had his highs, and his highs are highs. But when he's low, his low has been low. And that's the thing with him. I need to see a certain level of consistency before we get to calling him one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best players in the league, before we get to calling him a superstar. I understand the tough shots that he's making. I understand the clutch shots. I understand all that. But the thing is, it's not just about one shot. It's a 48-minute ball game. And Tyrese Haliburton, for basically these first 2 games, throughout these whole games, you have really been a no-show. You have been a non-contributing factor outside of that game-winning shot. You're not being able to get guys open. You're not your assist rate is down. You know, you turning the ball over like you was in game 1 and game 2. Uncharacteristic. We're going to need you to be able to look for your shot and get yourself going, because that's going to get everybody else going. That's going to open up the passing lanes. You just driving and you just going right into a kick. All these jump passes that you're doing right now, we need you to look at the basket and look at the rim and look at you to be able to be a scorer. We need you in these 14s, these 12 points. Nah, man, that's not going to get it done against this OKC Thunder defense, against this OKC Thunder team. This is NBA playoffs now. We need you in the minimum is 20. That should be your floor. Ceiling 30s, 30 plus. But your floor got to be 20. Every game that I look up, when we look at the box score, we watching the games, we need to know that Tyrese Halliburton has left his imprint on the game. And that's really that's the main thing for the Indiana Pacers to me. You know, because like I said, the Indiana Pacers, they did what they were supposed to do. Obviously, they lost tonight, but they won game one. They tied this series up. This is a tie series going back to the Indiana Pacers home court. They just got to do now, stand their ground and protect home court now. But the thing is, if you want to do that, if you want to protect your home court, if you want to win game 3, you want to win game 4, we're going to need Tyrese Halliburton, his production to go up a little bit more. We're going to need 20 points from him. We're going to need more than 10 field goal attempts from him. We're going to need him to look at the basket when he's driving that paint. We're not going to need him just to drive and look in the pass. You leaving points on the board. One thing about it, I understand that you a pass first point guard and things of that nature, man. But listen, bro. You had opportunities to be able to put points up on the board with the floater. You got to be able to trust in yourself because you kicking it out to your teammates. I understand you want to be able to steal on confidence and show that you trust your teammates. But the thing is, 2 points is better than no points. Especially when you is the star player of the team, you got to be able to want to stop the bleeding, and you want stopping the bleeding early. I understand that Siakam, he's been here, he's been a consistent kill. But the thing is, at some point in time, Tyrese Halliburton, we're going to need more from you. And that's all we asking of you, is to be more than give us more than what you giving us. You showed that you had the capabilities of it. Now we just need to see the consistency of it. In these first 2 games, you've been very subpar. So now, game 3, game 4, going back home, you know what you need to do. We seen that you ramped up the aggressiveness in the 4th quarter. Now we need you to carry that on to game 3 and game 4. From the very start of the game, we need you being aggressive. We need you looking for your shot. We're gonna need you to be able to get into the paint. And then that's gonna open up the passing lane. Then that's gonna open up the Neesmiths. They're gonna open up the Obi Toppins, the Pascals, the Nimharts. Cause everybody play off you. You was the head of the snake. They able to slow you down, so they slowing down the offense. So we gonna need you. You gotta look yourself in the mirror. So that's really I just summed up those 3. The first 2 games, you know, I told you how I felt at the game 1, game 2. You know, the Thunder, they did what they did. The defense, they leaned on them. They was able to take away Tyrese Halliburton. They was able to control the glass tonight, and they was able to, you know, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was able to get other people to come along for the ride with him instead of trying to do everything by itself and trying to get everything back at once. Because you look at a game 1. You know, when things was kind of going, you know, when Indiana was going on their run, you can kind of see Shai trying to get everything back at once. You know, it's no such thing as a 4-point play. I mean, a 6-point play, a 6-point basket or things like that. So you can't just be able to be out there by yourself. So I like that Mark Daigneault, he looked at the film, he understood what got him there, and he reverted back to it. Went with the double big lineup. They controlled the glass tonight. They was able to get all second chance points off that. They was able to keep Indiana Pacers from getting second chance points. They was able to keep Indiana Pacers off the offensive glass. They was able to keep them out the paint. Number 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was able to get Chet Holmgren to come along with him. He was able to get Aaron Wiggins along with him. Alex Caruso off the bench. You get 34. What's that? You get 37 points from your bench from 2 players. You know, you can live with that. Then, like I said, cause you know what Shai gonna give you. Then number 3, Tyrese Halliburton. That's the only downfall for the Indiana Pacers that I've seen from the first 2 games that can be a catastrophic downfall for the Indiana Pacers, is that Tyrese Halliburton has not been able to get off his offensive game scoring wise. It's something, like I said, I know he's a pass first. We know he can pass with the best of them. He can play mate. He can do this and that. He can distribute the ball with the best of them. But at some point in time, we're gonna need you to drop your nuts and put your hard boots on, hard cap on, and get some buckets, man. Get some hardcore buckets for your team to be able to slow down on momentum or gain momentum and instill confidence in everybody else to know that you got them, that you with them. Because they're watching these first 2 games, I don't know if you really with them. Like I said, outside of that game winner in game 1. Because when you look at it, even going down that stretch, when y'all was leading up to that point, I forgot you was on the court. Then well behold, you came down there and atoned for all your sins that you did in game 1 and with the big shot. But in game 2, there was no big shot. So you could not run away from it. We're going to need you to play better and give us better offensive output than what you're giving us right now. And that's just, I'm going to conclude that video right there. Those are my 3 things that I done took away from these first 2 games. Why I just feel like where the Thunder, if they want to have success, this is what they need to do. They got to look at the Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren two big lineups to be able to, you know, take away the paint, be able to take away all offensive second chance rebounds for the Indiana Pacers, to be able to get second chance rebounds for themselves, to create other offense outside of just SGA. You look at SGA, you know, distributing the ball, getting his teammates involved, where he's not just the only one shot chucking and things like that. Then you look at for the Indiana Pacers, I'm looking at Tyrese Haliburton. Our best player have not been playing like our best player in these first 2 games, and we're going to need him to step up from here on out if we want to be able to have a shot on winning this series. And y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about game 2, who y'all got winning in game 3. Do y'all think there's gonna be a gentleman's sweep with the Thunder winning their next 4 straight? Do y'all think it's gonna go a long series? But y'all let me know. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we on the road to 400 subs, man. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. So make sure you hit that support, hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna see y'all Wednesday after game 3.